Hey folks, today we're going to be talking about what to wear to work. Now I realize this is a daily decision that most of us have to make. I know early in my career, I had no idea what to wear. And so we're going to be diving into that topic today.
SaaS CMO Pro.
Hey folks, Bill Macaitis here. Thanks for joining SaaS CMO Pro. My mission here is to educate marketers, CEOs, VCs on modern SaaS marketing. And occasionally we're going to dive more into the career aspect of it. And that is today, what to wear to work, right? So as I film this, today is a Monday. I know a lot of us are, begrudging this day or getting up early or we're excited, but a big part of every day going to work is what the heck clothes am I going to put on? And obviously, let me preface this with look, there's a whole rationale to it. Just you do you, right? You wear whatever you're most comfortable with that makes sense for you. That's totally cool. Historically, when I've managed teams, I've usually told them, look guys, I don't care about that stuff. I don't care what you're wearing. I don't care what time you show up. I focus on the results, right? And we try to have metrics and let's have that drive the discussion versus more superficial things. But I think when you're thinking about your career in the longer term context of these decisions, not everyone's going to feel that way. You have, some people that are only going to look at results, but you have other people that are going to look at appearance, right? They're going to look at, dress. Are they professional? Do they look like a little, putting their best effort in? They're going to look at what time you show up or what time you leave. I don't really agree with that, but look, it's just the world. It is what it is, right? And when you start working at larger organizations, marketing has a lot of stakeholders. You're working directly with customers. You're working with sales. You're working with finance. You're working with product. You have all these different stakeholders that are going to have a perception of marketing. And not only that, but a perception of yourself, right? And sometimes what you're wearing kind of rubs off on that perception or rubs off on the brand that you're presenting. For those that are hey, all right, I want to think about that. The first step I would say is look around you, right? Look for your particular company. What is kind of normal? What are people normally wearing? Are they wearing suits? Are they wearing just a button-down shirt? Are they wearing, very casual clothes? Whether you're male, female, gender preference, whatever it is, right? Just kind of get a feel for what people are wearing within the organization. And obviously that's going to change a lot, right? If you're in the East Coast, it's more formal versus West Coast. If you're with a company that targets the enterprise, generally gets more formal versus maybe one that's doing SMB. If you're remote versus in person, all these things are going to influence it. And every company has its own kind of unique culture. But the first step I would say is just, take a look around, just get a feel for what everyone is wearing out there and just kind of get a feel for what's normal. The next step I'd say is hey, think about where you want to go with your career. I got a great piece of advice once, which was, hey, when you're deciding what to wear what your boss wears, right? Or close to that, right? That area. If your boss is dressing up and you're just dressing super, super cash, that's kind of I don't know, sometimes that's a signal, right? For whatever reason, the boss is wearing nice dressed up clothes, they may have a perception that, hey, they think that that's a big part of work and you have to be professional, and being professional is dressing appropriately or showing up or whatever it is, right? But they may have that perception. So you do have to think about that, right? And sometimes when you kind of dress at the level you want to go to, within your career, that potentially is going to help out. Another way I look at this is risk mitigation.
I will not be mitigated.
I know it sounds weird, but it's almost there's not a lot of downside to it. Maybe your boss cares, maybe they don't care. But, you kind of cover yourself. It's like writing with good grammar, right? Some people are really focused on grammar and they will find every little error that you make. I'm not that good at grammar, so I have to be extra careful with it. And so you kind of minimize the risk there. So some advanced strategies I've seen is where people will actually wear a specific outfit or even a specific color. So I remember one of the first jobs out of college that I had, I worked for this company, and one of the managers would always wear she was awesome. She'd always wear this dress suit, brown, just really with always brown hues though. And I just thought that was very distinctive. And I also, when I worked at Salesforce, I worked with a guy there and he always wore a salmon shirt. That was just his thing. And it became his brand. Everybody kind of realized oh, that's...
Here comes Fish Boy.
That's Jeremy. That's his thing. Great guy, by the way. And, sometimes you can develop your own personal brand, right? With a particular style. So that's one strategy. Another strategy to potentially wear sometimes a little bit nicer clothes or just, a little bit more professional, that's probably a better word for it, is I found it gives you a little more armor. So if you're in marketing, if you chose the field of marketing, congrats. It's super fun. I love it. But I will say this, a lot of people will have an opinion on marketing. It is what it is, right? You chose a field that everyone interacts with in kind of their individual daily lives, right? They look at pricing for what they're buying, they look at commercial ads, they look at messaging. And so, people are just more familiar with it and they're going to have opinions on it and they are going to express those opinions. And so what I noticed when I was working with people, this is kind of earlier in my career, the ones that had dressed up a little more professionally, it was almost like it served as a little more armor for them. When they would get attacked, or criticized, like the ones that had a little more armor on, I think held that attack a little bit better, or maybe they were attacked a little bit less. Almost like, all right, well, this person, they seem they know what they're doing. And again, I don't like that. I think it's stupid that people would, first off, I don't like when people are like constantly attacking other departments that they don't know. That's just me. But also, I don't think it's right when someone is attacking or not attacking based on what they're wearing. But it is what it is, right? When you're in a large organization, or maybe you're in more of a company that sells enterprise, you're going to have just a lot of people within an organization. And some are going to have more modern views, like result-centric type views. Others are just going to fall back on stuff, right? I don't know about this person. Are they professional or not? Well, they're dressing up in shorts every day. They're in a t-shirt. So it's just, sometimes like dressing up a little bit, it's going to give you a little bit more armor around you. So anyways, that's been kind of my thoughts. Like I always, when I went into career, I did try to, I dressed up a little bit more. I tried to dress up a little more professional. I tried to align it a lot of where the level that I was trying to achieve. I do think it gave me a little bit more armor. That being said, like normally when I'm not working, I'm usually in t-shirt and shorts. Like I always aspire that it's tropical out, even though it's not always tropical out where I'm at. But that's just me. I'd love to hear from you guys. How do you decide what you're going to wear on your daily work when you're going to work? I always read the comments. I think they're super fun. And thanks for joining.